Hello, everyone, and welcome back. So, I'm hoping that you're taking care of yourself and you're doing well. And getting close to the holidays, isn't it? In this video, I want to talk about the dance of life. And if we can start seeing life as the dance, how much more fun, enjoyable it can be. And as we know that life is full of ups and downs, we're happy, we're sad, we're active, we're passive, we're moving forward, then we have to take some step backwards. Then we can also say the same for day and night, the masculine and the feminine. We succeed, sometimes we fail. We get up and sometimes we fall back down. We experience pleasure and then we experience pain. We're strong one moment and the next moment we're weak. All of this is a sort of dance where we take the lead, then we let somebody else take the lead. We control things, then we have to follow somebody else. All along the way, how well we dance is how well that we are able to remain in the flow. And we're in the flow when we know when we need to take charge and when we need to take a step back. So it's about, in a sense, knowing, and I'm saying this as a very, not knowing as far as intellectually knowing, but just you feel it when we need to be active and when we need to be passive. So in a sense, we need some sort of awareness in order for us to be in the flow of things. And when we're in the flow of things, we're not relying on anybody else to tell us what we need to do, but we're relying on our inherent intelligence. I think this is where it's important to be able to know when to move forward and when to take a step back, like I said, and to listen to our bodies. And there's many times that we tend to be, there's certain people that are more on an active side, and there's other people that are on the passive side. So in a sense, it's easier for some to be active and easier for some to be passive, right? But there are certain times when we know that we should be passive, and then we resist. And it's an interesting phenomenon because let's say that we examine our breath. Do we know when we should inhale? And I think it's very simple. The answer is yes. We know we should inhale because we've exhaled all our breath. And do we know when we should exhale? The same thing, we just finished inhaling, so now we need to exhale. So in that sense, we do know when we should be active and passive. But I think the problem that happens is when we try to control, or we try to wait on somebody to tell us what to do. And again, I think we need to return to the inherent intelligence of our body. And we know when we need to be active, and we know when to be passive. And we do things in a sense naturally, automatically. And when we do that, we're in the flow of things. We don't try to force our breath. We don't try to control things. And also, we're not waiting for somebody to tell us, okay, now do this. So it's like somebody that wants to improve his guitar skills. And what they do is they try to force playing guitar. And what I mean is that, let's say they don't feel like playing the guitar. If we want to try to force things, then we're like, no, I'm going to play the guitar and I'm going to improve. And what happens usually in this case is that we end up very frustrated because we don't really, in a sense, improve because we're not in the flow of things. We're not allowing what we really want to do or what comes naturally to happen because we're trying to force things. So what wants to happen, we need to let it happen. And in this case, a guitar player needs to play when he really feels that he wants to play. And that's when he will probably improve the most. So when we do this, we're in a flow. We get ourselves out of our own way. But when we try to force things or we wait for somebody to tell us what to do, we get in all sorts of trouble because we're not doing what comes naturally, in a sense. So this is a concept that is very well explained when you look at the yin-yang symbol of Taoism, where the yin-yang, in a sense, is about the masculine, the feminine, the active, the passive, the good, the evil, the order, and the chaos. And then we can be very stuck on this because we can say the good needs to prevail. And we fail to realize that there is bad in the good if you look at the symbols, right? And there's good in the bad. And the same with masculine and the feminine. One is not purely a male or man, and they have no feminine traits. And the same with the feminine, the female has masculine traits. So if we apply this and we say that there is no good, there is no bad, there are certain times when we need to exhale and certain times when we need to be inhaling. There's a time when we need to take the lead. We need to be sometimes a follower. And then we don't get stuck in a very rigid mindset where we are a man and we need to take the manly action, not the mainly, but the manly. And the same goes when we're trying to create order. We're trying to force order. When in that case, when we're trying to do that, we're creating chaos. So hopefully that we're able to go with the flow of life more, to do what we really want to do. If we listen to our bodies, it'll tell us what feels good. But I guess that's one of the main problems with humanity, is that we're not in touch with our feelings, and that we believe we need to take charge, or we believe that we need to wait for somebody to tell us what to do. And then we're all in a world of hurt, in a sense, because we don't do things as it should happen. So I'm hoping that we can refine our balance and to be in touch more with what wants to happen, not forcing things and not waiting on the perfect opportunity either. Where when it comes to a situation that we can spring to action when we know what we need to do. And also sometimes when something happens, we need to realize this is not for me, and we stay out of it. So, what do you think? What do you think about this? Is it a good thing that we sometimes try to force things? Or is it a good thing that we sometimes try to wait up on somebody to tell us what we need to do? Or is it better to go about life and following your own intuition and knowing when we need to be active and when we need to be passive, when we need to act as a man, when we need to act as a woman? Or maybe not the man and the woman example, but when we need to be masculine and when we need to be feminine is a better way to put it. So it's getting closer to the holidays, as I said in the beginning of the video, and hopefully you're keeping warm and you're all doing well, despite the fact that the world seems to be very chaotic right now. Hopefully we can find a flow of things and take things in stride. So if you feel that you have something to say about this video, please feel free to comment. If you like it, hit the like button. If you like sharing, that would be great. And I'm wishing you all the best. You're loved. You're appreciated. And until next time.